Så, då var det dags att börja. Vi kommer att köra det här på lite olika språk. Och jag tänkte köra det här på engelska, men slidesen är på svenska. So, I think this is the 5th STC Expo that we're running in this form. The theme this year is digital reality, and we have speakers with different perspective within the area. Yesterday, I were cooking for my children, and I realized that my stove was more intelligent than me. I tried to put 3 of these on full speed, and that would have blown a fuse. But it knew that it would have blown a fuse, so it decreased the power on one of them. So the stove was smarter than me, but wouldn't it be nice that this would be applicable to many other things around us? That it would help us in our decision making, in our everyday life, to make things better, and give us added value to what we do and to our products. So, I will start by introducing the area, and the area where the speakers will talk. I will give an overview of the achievements within our research center, STC, and also show you the program for today's activities. So, the goal of today is to enable you to be as rich as these guys. I don't think there will be an answer to what to do, but at least in what area and what could reach to the size of a Google or a Microsoft. If we look at internet today, it's used for basically everything. I totally skipped my recipe books now. It's only using the internet because it's so much more convenient. We play music, we read blogs, we basically do everything through the internet. And the power of internet, the social internet, is by small means we can make applications for mobiles, we can make services on the web with relatively small resources, and connecting people. And by connecting people, they start to interact. And when they interact, they generate data. As in Google, which capitalize on our search patterns. So the data is self-generated. It's done for us. And there are plenty of actors in the internet which earn a lot of money. I mean, Facebook, Google, Spotify. They all make services that utilizes that we connect on the internet, and people interact and want to connect to other people. But there are also other actors that have a decent life selling the infrastructure and the technology that delivers the internet. So if we move on and see the next step, if we're going to connect things to the internet, what is the difference between the social internet and the internet for things? And hopefully, and I think many people think that. There is a pot of gold somewhere. But the question is what? For sure, these guys will earn money by supplying the infrastructure, selling the services for communication. But then it's a question. Applications. What kind of application? We haven't seen many of those. And the things. Who will make the things? And what kind of things should we make that is connected to the internet? So if this guy will try to make an application for Internet of Things, the basis for doing that is changed quite rapidly or drastically. Then it doesn't need only to develop the service or the application. He also needs to see that the things are connected to the internet. It's not just enabling people to connect to the internet. The things needs to be connected. And someone needs to pay for the thing that is connected. So this could lead to, if he doesn't find a good business model that enables people to buy and connect these for him, he needs to buy the things and connect them. So then it's a question, how do we deal with this? How do we make the things to be connected? One way would be to find things that already generate data. So they're already connected and generate data. Electrical power meters, they're connected, not in real time, but almost. Smartphones, they're connected, they're available, and they have possibilities to sense their environment, and also perhaps a possible gateway to get things connected. Logistics. It's quite well developed in when it comes to be connected, get the logistics objects connected throughout the flow, and even that this is done wirelessly. But can we find somewhere where someone now is prepared to pay for this development? Well, I think governments could be one, or they could legislate to make others pay for it. It could be to preserve environmental values, or it could be others that, for example, electric power meters, that these should be connected in real time. Then this would make people pay for the connection. If we could benefit in our energy profile in our homes, this could also enable us to pay for connecting our things at home. Although a bit scary to connect my heating at home to the internet for someone to hack. Sounds a bit worrying. Industrial applications. If we can find things where we can benefit in industry, I think there is a large potential in industrial applications. If we look at one parcel in a logistic chain that was really in media a couple of years ago, the meat from ICA, where they tried to cheat us by repacking these. And If we take this package and connect it and add sensors to it, and these sensors would communicate with the customer's mobile phones, and that the mobile phone is connected to the internet. We then get the geographical information. We get the possibility to build statistics, which is the power of building services both for people and for things on the internet. For this, we could get some kind of community which connects to the product. From this, we could perhaps, if the sensor is good, get the how long this has been in the store, the highest temperature it's been exposed to, quality, etc. And if we connect these in large numbers, we get statistics on how different retailers, how good they are in handling their quality, which could be connected to media. So we get the customer benefit from doing this. So then we also get the customer benefit to enable this connection between the product and the internet. So it's not the retailer itself that makes this connection, it's the customers, because they benefit from it. Another electric power meters, these you can buy, Clas Ohlson. They're not that advanced. We get the number of kilowatts that we, or kilowatt hours that we consume, or it also shows the present reading. Another way is this from In Use, that tries to connect the individual measurement of electricity. So we get the statistics connected and visualize it in a good way. But also connect this to your friends. So you get a feedback of what your friends is consuming. And connect this to a community where you can see your usage of electricity and your friends. And this you can combine into getting an incentive to decrease your electricity usage. Smartphones, with example of the whiskey bottle. If we tag the bottle with an individual code, similar to the meat from ICA, and make an incentive for the customer to connect their product to their mobile phone, and thus also to a geographical point where the customer is. We get information about the product, when it was made and all this stuff. Depending on the product, this can be different parameters, but if we get the customer to do this, we get statistics on all the customers that do this. And we get a feedback channel for the producer that can build a community where you can add value to the customer to, in this case, discuss whiskey and all the values that the producer wants to produce. And then we can also make added value to the customers to know where other consumers are. And we can also detect on different age of these bottles where they are, if someone wants to sell one. And this could be an incentive for the customer. This could also add to the community that these customers that adds their bottles to the community will also get the benefit from getting free taste visits to the distillery or something. Another benefit if we did it like this is that we took a photo of the ID code and the bottle. So we also know how much it is in the bottle. So if we could get an incentive to update this, we would know how much there is still left of one certain year of this whiskey. So this shows how connecting things, getting statistics about these things can make a business. So then it's a question of industry. Why would industry like to connect their things to internet? Would the typical industry want to connect their production line sensors? Probably not. Because that if you connect these and collect them, you would be able to basically reveal the inner business secrets of that company, how you produce this in a most effective way. So connecting all the different sensors in the production line, that would not perhaps be very likable that it would happen. So rather that the things are connected, they are connected today, but we're perhaps moving towards an wireless connection of these in industry. So what would the industry be interested in connecting to the internet? One thing would be sensors which are really complicated and really expensive. I mean, if you have an instrument for 1 million crowns, it could be interesting that getting the expertise from the people that sold this instrument, to get them in and monitoring and handling the instrument continuously, rather than building competence at your factory to do this, which would be quite expensive. Another thing is to create business after you've sold the product, or making services out of a product. This is also something that we will see, I think. Logistics, we mentioned. I think there is a lot of things going on in logistics which perhaps will lead the way. Another thing is, which we've seen quite big interest, is to make sure that you have a green profile. If you have a green profile in your company, you want to show it. And Internet for Things could be one way to show this. One example of complicated and expensive instruments that we have been involved in are these from Eurocon Analyzer. This is a wood chip measurement system. I think this is 1.2 million to buy. And this is for measuring cellulose fibers, also in the same range of complexity. These are sold, but they're also sold as a service. They place this in a factory and they sell measurement values. So by connecting these, they have enabled a new business model to be able to sell a service instead of a product. So, why do we want to connect everything and get the information on everything and all? One way could be to add values to business. In this case, it's the small whiskey manufacturer, Box Whiskey, that from connecting their whiskey bottles could add a new market channel to their customers and handling their customers and add values to the customers. We have also a project which you can see down here that tries to position eagles around windmills, because windmills has a big profile of being green energy. But if these windmills kill 100 eagles, and then it's not very green. So there is a big incentive to connect and try to avoid to do this, to save these large birds. Another example, which we will hear more of today also, how to save energy by connecting things and get better meat. So, applications for Internet for Things. An important part of doing this is to make sure that you have the data for it. So, and to make data, we need the things. We need to produce the things, we need to connect the things. And we need to get financing for this part, which is not an issue when it comes to making services on the internet. But Internet for Things, this is an issue. Who will pay for the deployment of the things? But I think the pot of gold is out there. That's for sure. But it's just a question of what will we make up that will make the new Google of the Internet of Things. So, then I will go through what has happened in our research center, Sensible Things That Communicate, during this year. During this year, we have ended to exist as a project. The last 6 years, we've been a project financed by the Keiki Foundation. And this ended in February. And now we are financed by many different project sources. And still, we now become a center rather than a project. So during these 6 years, we produced 21 doctors. I think many are in the audience today of these. We produced 11 spin-off companies. Within this area, we have examined 130 students at master level and bachelor level. And during this, we also wrote 300 scientific articles. And if we look at the development from the start, 2005, I think it was one professor, a few seniors, and a bunch of PhD students. When I think now we're past the line of 80 researchers within STC Center. And most of them you will meet here today at the exhibition, at the posters, and the demonstrators. And if we look at what our PhDs and licentiates are doing today, most of them will be found in industry. I think it's roughly 55% that's in industry now. Some are mixed between industry and universities. And some of these have stayed, mostly the ones that newly made their PhD. And I think this is the best product that we made through these 6 years. The 21 PhD students, or PhDs. And also, of course, the spin-offs that try to make their way through commercial success. So the program for the day is, when I finished, Theo will start. He's in digital presence. Then we have a speaker from Ericsson, Mikael Åström, that will discuss the building of Norra Djurgårdsstaden and the things that happens there. Then we pause for lunch, and there's also time for visiting the posters after lunch, a half an hour. Then we have Darja Isaksson from InUse av människors upplevelse av nytta av digitala produkter och tjänster. Then Linda Åstrand from Telia will come and talk about how the operator sees on this field. And then Anders Källström will come and talk about connecting things with the purpose of monitoring and decreasing our energy usage. Then it's more posters, more demonstrations, and mingle when we end the talks. And then this evening at 7, there will be dinner and food at Tornhallen, and the buses will leave from here at some time that I will announce later. So, thanks for being here. It's incredibly many of you here today. It's really happy to see you here. And I really hope that you get a really good and giving day. Thank you.